All right, today we're diving deep into a truly epic journey of magic, identity, and honestly, survival. We're following a young girl who is literally ripped from her world and thrown into a destiny she never, ever could have seen coming.
So this is the big question, right? The one we're going to unpack. How does a girl from the frozen north end up as the key to everything for a secretive monastery halfway across the world? It's a story that stretches across continents and even centuries, and it all comes down to one girl's hidden power. So, how on earth does it happen?
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. Our story kicks off with Mila, a girl from the Sami people. Now, her world is all about these vast snowy plains, the northern lights, and living by the rhythm of migrating reindeer. But that life, it's about to be completely shattered.
This is so important. Before anyone tries to change her name, before they call her a witch, this is who she knows she is. This single thought is her anchor. It's her core identity. A strength she's going to have to cling to when literally everything else is taken from her.
I mean, can you even imagine the whiplash? She goes from the cold, wild freedom of Sapmi, a life built around family and nature, and is dropped into the sweltering heat and crushing rules of the Longxi Temple, surrounded by people who hate her on sight. It's not just culture shock, it's a complete and brutal tear in the fabric of her reality.
And the journey to get there? It's an absolute nightmare. She's snatched from her family, dragged across the ancient Silk Road by this warrior, Master Li. He cuts her hair, makes her dress like a boy, and just flat out refuses to answer the one question she asks over and over and over. Why?
You'd think after a journey like that, maybe things would get better. Nope. Her arrival at Longxi isn't a rescue. It's just the start of a brand new prison, one where she is a total outcast from the second she walks through those gates.
And the very first thing she hears, a word spat at her by young Da, who's like the star pupil of the temple and her #1 tormentor. Knew her, witch. And because she looks different, because she's a girl in a place filled with boys, that label sticks hard.
So her life just becomes this daily grind of survival. The physical training is beyond brutal, but on top of that, she's bullied relentlessly. They call her a snake because they think she was born in an unlucky year. She is completely, utterly alone.
But, even in a place this dark, little cracks of light start to show through. Mila begins to stumble upon these tiny clues about why she's really there, and more importantly, who she really is. She isn't entirely without friends, which is huge. Cook Ma gives her a little bit of protection and some quiet kindness. And then there's this young boy, Wei Wan, who's the first one to actually stand up to the bullies. He even suggests maybe she's not a snake, but a xiaolong, a little dragon.
And then a word from her past bubbles up in her memory. Seishar. It's a name for people born with a special connection to the northern lights, people with magic. And suddenly, she remembers her mother's fear and the sight of her own hands glowing under the aurora.
This question really becomes the turning point, doesn't it? It just hangs in the air. What if everything they're using against her, the fact that she's different, that she's a girl, her entire heritage, what if all of that is actually the source of some unbelievable power?
And that's when her magic, it starts to awaken. In these moments of pure stress and emotion, she can literally see the spiritual core of other people. They look like these glowing orbs that show her their true nature, their power, their fear. This is the very thing her mother told her she had to hide.
She keeps this incredible ability a secret, of course, until she's forced into the tournament, the ultimate test of skill and survival, the one place where there is absolutely no hiding.
And just get this. To everyone's absolute shock, Mila, the outcast, the witch, the girl, is chosen as one of the 12 fighters to represent their temple. I mean, come on. The message couldn't be clearer. This is a setup. She's meant to be humiliated and broken in front of everybody.
The final event is it's a gauntlet. It's brutal. First, she has to perform these super complex martial arts forms. Then, she has to face a relentless wave of opponents, all attacking her at the same time. The goal here isn't just winning, it's literally just surviving. So the fight kicks off, and she's just getting hammered, overwhelmed. But then, out of sheer desperation, she focuses. She sees the heart of her first opponent. It looks like fragmented gravel. She reaches out with her own energy and she borrows his grit. And then she does it again. She turns to another fighter, one who moves with flawless technique. His heart shines like polished silver. She connects with it, and suddenly her own movements become fluid, precise, perfect. She's borrowing his skill. And when the biggest threats, the strongest guys, finally corner her, she taps into a heart of cold, hard steel. She's not just defending anymore. She's using their own strengths against them, surviving this impossible fight by becoming a living mirror of their power.
Surviving that fight, that wasn't the end goal. It was the key. It was the moment that unlocks the final jaw-dropping truth about why she was brought to Long Sea in the first place.
Okay, so you gotta understand, this temple has been guided by an ancient prophecy for like over 1,000 years. It talks about the three brothers who founded the temple and how they swore they would be reborn in the year of the dragon to protect the nation from a coming darkness.
And this is where it all comes together. Master Li finally reveals the truth. That insult, the snake, the very thing that defined her entire existence there, it was a lie.
He miscalculated the lunar calendar. Her actual birth date places her squarely, undeniably, in the year of the dragon, linking her directly to that ancient prophecy. And that special ability of hers, the Psychar magic, that's what makes her the one and only person who can communicate with and care for the temple's greatest secret, a living, breathing spirit dragon hidden deep within the mountain.
She was never an outcast. She was never a mistake. She is the prophesied third master, reborn. The girl they called a witch is actually one of their saviors. So Mila finally knows her place in this incredible story. She has immense power, a sacred duty. But after years of being told she was worthless, that she was a witch, can't she truly see herself as the master she was born to be? That, right there, is the real battle she still has to fight.